Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to another Computer RPG News Roundup, this time for April 5th, 2025, where each week I take a look back at the week in computer and console RPG news and bring you the highlights. We will start with Hogwarts Legacy, which not only had a DLC plan, but a definitive edition coming up, and now both of them have been cancelled by Warner Brothers, so interesting take on that one. Then, Jidonia 2 is set to release into early access on April 9th. It will be targeting the PC, a sequel to a simple, small to solo team open world RPG that I enjoyed the first one of. It'll bring more of the same, except with improved systems and graphics all around. Lunar Lux is coming to Switch this month. It will be a sci-fi action RPG that has been available on the PC since 2023. It looks like it will launch on consoles on April 17th. Survivalist's Invisible Strain is set to launch on April 25th. It has been in early access for quite some time now and is a colony simulation RPG hybrid. And I just realized I had this one sitting in my Steam library for a very long time now and I have never played it. Everspace 2 is getting a new expansion, Wrath of the Ancients. It will hit on May 12th. It'll target the PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X/S. It'll be set after the events of the main game and deal with a new story. Yasha, Legends of the Demon Blade, has been delayed. It will now release on May 15th. It looks like it's an action roguelite JRPG. Nintendo had their Nintendo Switch 2 Direct come out, which announced not only the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, I believe on June 5th, but also a number of launch titles and later titles for it, so you'll be seeing some of those here. We'll start with Bravely Default, of Flying Fairy, which will be getting an HD remaster. It will be a launch title for the Switch 2. It will be a remaster of the original 3DS era Bravely Default. Then Yakuza 0 Director's Cut will be getting a release on the Switch 2. It looks like it'll launch on June 5th with the console as well, and include new story scenes, a new online multiplayer mode, and other additions. Cyberpunk 2077 will also be getting an Ultimate Edition on Switch 2, which will be a launch day release. Elden Ring will be getting the Tarnished Edition of the Switch 2, although this one will release later on sometime this year. It will also include the Shadow of the Erd Tree expansion. And speaking of FromSoft, they will also have a general Dusk Bloods for Switch 2. It's a new game. It'll be a PvPvE online multiplayer title. Not sure how much of an RPG it is. It will be directed by Miyazaki, and it does look to include some elements of other games. Deltarune will be released on June 5th. It will be a full 4-chapter version of the game and target the PC, PS4, and the PS5, the Switch, as well as the Switch 2. It's a follow-up to Undertale for those who have really not been following it. Wild Hearts 5 is set to release on the Nintendo Switch 2. It'll target July 25th at this date. It will take place in a world inspired by feudal Japan, where you face off against various beasts. Oceanhorn Chrono's Dungeon will be getting a release on the PC and mobile. It was originally an Apple Arcade title and will target release sometime in the second quarter of this year. It is inspired by 16-bit dungeon crawlers. Daemon X Machina Titanic Scion is set for release on September 5th and will target the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X/S, as well as the Nintendo Switch 2. It is a sequel to a mecha action RPG from several years back now. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment was announced. It will, of course, be on the series that combines Legend of Zelda with Dynasty Warriors style play, and will target the Nintendo Switch 2 this winter. Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth Trilogy is going to be getting its Western release on the PS4. It'll include all 3 games in the Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth Trilogy and was originally slated for the Nintendo Switch, but they had a lot of trouble getting to content compliance, so yeah. Anyway, this release will include not only the 3 games, but all DLC from previous releases. They have been available on the PS Vita and the PC for some time now. Crescent Tower looks like it'll be an 8-bit dungeon crawler RPG, taking inspiration from NES-era games. It's set to release sometime this year on PC, and actually it looks pretty neat. Hades 2 looks like it's going to get a release on the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. A release date has not been set, but more info will be available later this year. It has been available in early access on the PC for quite some time now. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade will be getting a Switch 2 release. The release date has not yet been announced, but will definitely be coming to the Switch 2. It has been available on the PS4 for several years now, I guess. Malice looks like it's going to be targeting the PC. It will be a game from the same developer as Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. It will be a roguelite deck builder, and there will be a Kickstarter campaign undertaken sometime later. Montabi will be a roguelite deck-building creature collector that will target the PC. There is no release date set yet. Crux Diaries RPG was announced. It looks like it'll be an isometric turn-based CRPG targeting the PC and be set in an alternate history dystopian city on the brink of civil war. As far as actual releases go, Caribbean Legend got a new patch as well as a new DLC out. The new DLC is Ships Pack 2, which offers a new story along with new ships and loot. Odd Venture has been released into early access and is a twisted fairy tale style RPG, and as a result of the crowdfunding, it is a result of a crowdfunding campaign from a few years back. Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes has yet another story expansion, this time Chapter of Marcus, which follows the story of Marcus and offers more insight into his background. Dice and Goblins saw its release and is a tabletop-inspired dungeon crawler RPG where you play a small goblin wanting to find an exit from an infinite dungeon. Phantom Relics is an isometric action RPG where you explore ancient catacombs, battle various creatures, and find various relics, which is pretty old school. Three Skies Ascension is a turn-based strategy RPG with various dungeons, hundreds of heroes, and various creatures to collect. There is a demo available. Finally, there's Babel of Yastilia, a turn-based roguelike with minimalist, fast-paced combat with a focus on enemy patterns. And with that, we'll take a look at crowdfunding campaigns. Remember that contributing to a crowdfunding campaign should be done only at your own risk. Doing so is no guarantee of receiving a product. Mentioned here is not an endorsement, but is for informational purposes only, and I saw a few. We'll start with Defenders of Etheria, which I don't know that it, in and of itself, is an RPG. It is RPG-inspired. It is a Bullet Heaven-style Survivors-type game set in the realm of the Dungeon Defenders. Shaman's Path will be a maze-exploring-style action exploration game. Again, not sure how much of an RPG it is. Some of these kind of toe the line. Most of these kind of toe the line. But it will be focused on exploration and adventure elements. Tales of Fra Akin will be a story-based fantasy RPG in an old-school style using the RPG Maker MZ engine, so it's kind of minor, but that's okay. Finally, there is Thieves of Dingira, a fantasy-inspired game with a mix of town management, RPG combat, and dating sim elements. And on that note, I'm going to wrap things up here. This has been the RPG Caller with my CRPG News Roundup for April 5th, 2025. As always, links will be below. I will be trying to get back into the swing of posting materials soon. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribe Star, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.